This is Megan McFeely, and I'm here with Alex Warden. We're having a series of conversations about essential oneness and how this expresses itself in all aspects of life. Today, we're going to be having a conversation about women leadership and womanhood. Alex, how would you define womanhood?
What I call womanhood is the way of a total woman, of a whole woman, or a woman that is trying to become a whole. So I wouldn't say that womanhood is what we normally call femininity only, but rather a particular quality of strength and a particular use also of the intelligence and of awareness from a feminine perspective, from a feminine place, and hopefully the full potential of what a woman can be.
What does leadership look like from the place of womanhood?
I think that today women are coming really into the front of what it is dealing with power, dealing with hierarchical structures, working in the hierarchical world, and really having a full experience of what the world and the masculine world is. And sometimes when we come and work in those areas, especially women that are put in positions of power, there is a natural way in which, unless we become like the other men, we don't know sometimes how to be, how to lead from a place of just being women. And because women have particular qualities like listening, like receptivity, like nurturing, those qualities can actually be applicable to the marketplace. And especially in women in power, it's really important sometimes to be able to bring that feminine quality rather than adding a new masculine quality, because masculine quality is there. We have plenty of it, but what we do not have enough is about women that can lead with power from that feminine place. And the way it expresses itself is by bringing those feminine qualities into the marketplace as being lived as part of the way we relate to others. For example, when women work in a masculine place, they confront a situation which is the masculine way of dealing with power. Usually is hierarchical: better, worse, first, second, last, near and close, better and horrible. And so they find themselves in a situation in which, if they go through those values, they eventually lose their feminine or their womanhood, and they become a mixture of a feminine being living through masculine qualities.
What are these qualities of the feminine that women bring to leadership?
Beingness. I think women understand beingness really from the core of themselves, just a natural way in which they react. Then is their capacity to relate, their capacity to multitask, to do many things at once as they are required in the moment, to respond to the moment, a capacity to listen to what is needed. And that's the reason why they can also multitask, because they can listen to more than one thing that is needed at any particular moment. Usually you listen to one thing each moment, but moments can be kind of close to each other, and that's what multitasking demands. And women naturally are not hierarchical. The way they naturally live is by functions. That means that you can have basically a similar structure in the sense that there is a president, and there is a secretary, and there is a builder, and there is a worker that lifts things, and there is a telephone person. You can have everything that happens in a particular job environment. But the difference is that everything becomes part of a function.
So this is a quality of feminine consciousness that women can bring into the workplace or into places of leadership.
Womanhood and women leaders can actually bring the feminine way in a way that can be extremely productive and also healthy for the companies. Right now, we have some companies that are starting to bring this quality of comfort to the business place. People integrating with classes of yoga or meditation. Some of them give you benefits. In my country, when I used to have the school, the teachers that had babies, there was a baby room, so they could work, and then if they were called to breastfeed or something, the baby would come to the classroom, or they would go to this other room. So there is this sense that you can actually start building a different relationship that is not just a job that is isolated for the rest of your life, but just starting to bring life into the job. But it's certainly not enough, because the basic structures where women are getting power, or they are in positions of power, women are not really taking full advantage of this quality that they have, to be able to bring relationships and to live from that place of functionality rather than for a place of competitivity. And it's so much more relaxing, because you stop really looking away from yourself. If you can know what is your function in any particular situation, and you can feel comfortable that is the best of what you are in that moment, and that is what requires from you in that very moment, then you're not looking for the future, you're not looking into the past. You can focus onto the present and really give the best of yourself and really shine. When you are comparing yourself to others, when you are competing with others, when you are hoping for a position or a place that is non-related to what you're doing, you're always projected outside of yourself. So you cannot shine. You can be a wonderful professional, but there is a particular shine, a particular light, a particular way of being with what you are doing that doesn't come out.
So since it is natural, all these things to women, how do we then learn to value that?
I think that in general, women have been devaluing their capacity to listen, their capacity to introspect or be able to work from inside out and not from outside in. That is devalued because the masculine, in a way, is about doing, is about building and constructing, and a man doesn't have a baby in their bodies. They actually give whatever seed they have to a woman to hold. So their consciousness, their way of experiencing life, it's very different than for a woman. They do not have to hold a baby inside themselves. They don't have to accommodate to change their bodies, their whole bodies, in order to hold a new life. They don't need to do that. So I think that sometimes, because they don't have to do that on a group level or on a group consciousness level, it became devalued. Because if you don't know what is to create that inside your body, you don't have a clear value sometimes of what that means. So it is important for a lot of women to be able to know that they have this quality of power within them, and that they have this capacity to be able to hold something, and they are able to hold a company, and they are able to hold a project, and they are able to bring it into fruition, because we know what is instinctually, whether you have children or not, you know that you can do it, because we have that capacity in our own bodies to do it.
Right.
But if we're going to have a woman value her qualities, her feminine qualities, and her personal power, and how her power can help her and others, the value needs to come from the acknowledgement that this is how we were built, and by exploring and perfecting those qualities, we're just perfecting something that we were given, and we are fulfilling what we were meant to become.
What is the feminine's relationship to power?
It's enormous, because nature is about the power of bringing life or incarnating life. the spirit, incarnating spirit, up to death. It's enormous. It's all powerful. That's why in the ancient traditions, the feminine was valued. The earth, the creation, had so much power. What primitive cultures valued and adored and built a connection to the divine was through the forces of feminine nature. And those forces live in a woman. That's why it's so important to live them in a positive way, because we have so much power. It's very easily misused. No, because you want to abuse the power, but because when women get angry and unconscious, they have tremendous power of destruction. And when they are loving and caring, they have tremendous power of containment and embracing and nurturing. Does this mean that we have to be happy all the time? No. That we need to be nurturing all the time? No. Things happen. But what I'm trying to say is that the more women become aware of that enormous power that lives through us, the more we can actually be beneficial to our communities, to our country, to the world, and to life.
How do women undermine their own power?
First of all, I think that there is this idea that because sometimes women can be more emotional or more naturally caring or connected to and compassionate or embracing of others, or there is somehow it developed this idea that women are weak. So once you're told from birth that you're weak, probably you're going to believe it. And you're not only going to believe it, but you're also going to live like that. And you're only going to live like that, but you're going to affect everything that you do and everyone around you with that concept. It's not to say that men do not have power. Men also are extremely powerful. But by thinking that we are weak, in a way, we give to other what belongs to us. And actually, when we do not accept our power, we are actually abusing another, because we're putting onto another a responsibility that doesn't belong to them. Part of the process of becoming a whole is to retrieve and to take back all the projections and all the thoughts and all the imaginals that have been living in our consciousness and that had been determining the reality that we live back. And accepting that we are powerful human beings and that we were given tremendous amount of power is it's part of taking responsibility and retrieving and bringing something back towards us. So it's almost something that needs to happen.
Can you tell me how women can practice this type of beingness, or bringing these qualities into the workplace?
I always start by the simplest, which is in my own life, at my own home, by finding meaning and by finding comfort in whatever I'm doing in that moment. There is a need to know that we are here in this moment. Each one of us is here breathing and standing or sitting and thinking and feeling. And nobody can do this for us. Nobody can breathe through my lungs. Nobody can think my thoughts. Nobody can smell the flower through my nose. So there is a reason why I'm here right now. And there is a reason why I'm called to play a particular function right now. And if I can live from that place of oneness with what I'm being asked to perform or what is being asked from me, if I can live from that place of acknowledging the importance that for someone or life or that essence, the effort that it was made for me today to be able to breathe and to laugh or to smile or to cry, and to be able to do my life. The effort that was made by life for me to be where I'm right now is what is important. And that I experience it through my body, through my own eyes, through my own nose, through my own hands. That is what is important. Then things happen.
I want to thank you for being with us today. We hope that you'll come back and listen to other conversations that we're going to have on essential oneness.